Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the E.L.F. Putty bronzers. If you do want to see a review and a demo, then please keep watching. As a huge favor, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment anything down below. I greatly appreciate it. I read all the comments and I will do my best to reply back. These bronzers retail for $6. I purchased 3 shades out of the 8 shades that are available. I wasn't really sure which bronzer shade matched me the best. The shades online, they do look a little bit different than they are in person. These launched on E.L.F.'s website on June 17th and then I got mine on June 22nd. I do want to read a little bit about these putty bronzers on E.L.F.'s website. A unique putty to powder bronzer that delivers highly pigmented, buildable color for a natural sun-kissed glow. It goes on to say why we love it. Unique putty to powder formula with a semi-matte finish gives skin a natural sun-kissed glow, highly pigmented, buildable color, smooths and evens out your complexion, lightweight, non-greasy wear, enriched with moisturizing argan oil and vitamin E. That's their key ingredients. So it does say argan oil moisturizes the skin and vitamin E nourishes and softens the skin. And it's great for all skin types. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It is similar to their Putty blush packaging. So it comes in the same carton. I just kept this one. I only had one and I was trying to find out just to compare. So it is the same. I say E.L.F. at the top, it says Putty bronzer, and then you do have the shade name. This is called Tan Lines. And then it says infused with argan oil and vitamin E. You get 0.35 ounces or 10 grams of product. When you turn it over on the back, it does have a little description about the product. You do have the shade name again. There are some directions and then the ingredients, and this does have a 6-month shelf life. On the bottom, you do have the barcode, and then on the sides, it does say Putty bronzer. Let's go ahead and open this up. It's got this little flap here where you can just pull this up and then the product comes out easily. So here's what the bronzer looks like. Again, similar packaging to the blush, except the colors are different, but they do say E.L.F. And then this says Putty blush and this says Putty bronzer. One thing again I do want to mention is that there is no shade name on the back. I wonder if it's printed on the side like it is with their blushes. It looks like it is printed on the side here, the shade name. I really wish that they would have had a sticker on the back just mentioning the shade names. That's one thing that I wanted to mention. So let's see what the shade in Tan Lines looks like. Here's what the inside looks like. Let's swatch it. Here's Tan Lines. It's basically a cream bronzer. This one's a little bit too light on me. Let me see if I can build it up. I'm gonna take a little bit more. I'm not sure if you guys can see this bronzer shade, but here's what it looks like on my finger. It is very light. So I'm not sure if this is gonna show up on my skin. The next shade is called Honey Drip. Here's what the shade in Honey Drip looks like compared to the shade in Tan Lines. A little bit deeper than Tan Lines. Let's swatch the shade in Honey Drip. Here's what that looks like. Again, you can barely see it. It's very light. I'm gonna see if I can build it up. Taking a little bit more. Yeah, you can barely see it. Last shade is called Golden Days. I think this would be more of my shade. Here's Golden Days compared to Honey Drip, and then Tan Lines. Here we have all 3 of the bronzers side by side. Let's see what the shade in Golden Days looks like. Here's what Golden Days looks like. It's not super pigmented, which is good. I definitely think Golden Days would be more of my shade. But here we have all 3 of the bronzers. I'm gonna see if I can build up these bronzers a little bit more, that way we can see its full pigmentation. This is the best that I can build it up to, but hopefully it does show up pigmented on the skin. I'm gonna bronze with all 3 of these shades. The first shade I'm gonna be taking is a shade in Tan Lines. I'm gonna be using the E.L.F. Complexion Duo brush. This is really a foundation brush made for the CC cream. It does say on E.L.F.'s website, using the Putty brush, which I didn't purchase, or clean fingers, gently pat onto the cheeks, forehead, and anywhere else you want a kiss of bronze. Blend out using wide circular motion. Pro tip for a smooth, long-lasting bronze glow, prep the skin with our Putty primers and pair with our Putty blushes to create the perfect sun-kissed complexion. Have a little bit of the bronzer on my brush. Do the circular motions like they state. Can barely see it. I'm gonna take a little bit more of the shade in Tan Lines. Can barely see that shade in Tan Lines on my skin. It basically looks like I applied highlight on my skin because of how glowy it is, but you can't see the pigment with this particular shade in Tan Lines. I'm gonna apply the next shade in Honey Drip on the right side of my face. Taking a clean brush. This is the Milani blush brush, but we'll use it for bronzer. Just gonna go in a little bit. Let's see if we can get some pigmentation. We have a little bit of the shade in Honey Drip on the brush. You can barely see it on the brush because the brush hairs are brown. Let's see what Honey Drip looks like. You can barely see it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Here we have the shade in Tan Lines. And then here we have Honey Drip. I'm gonna take some on an eyeshadow brush and we're gonna take the shade in Honey Drip. There we go. We're getting a little bit of pigment. I just feel like it's lifting up the foundation underneath. My skin type is already very oily. That's why I applied a matte foundation. I applied the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in the shade Toffee Pecan. This is my holy grail foundation. So far, I'm not loving the cream bronzers. I'm just gonna rub off the foundation. I'm gonna reapply my foundation. I'm gonna reapply my foundation off camera and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. Now let's apply the shade in Golden Days on the right side of my face. Using another clean brush, we're gonna dip into the shade Golden Days. Okay, it looks like we're getting some pigmentation on the brush. Let's see. There we go. So I'm in the shade Golden Days. You guys see that? I'm gonna apply the shade in Golden Days on this side as well. I'll bronze my entire face with this shade in Golden Days. Here's what the shade in Golden Days looks like. It's so pretty. It does have a little bit of glow. I will be setting the cream bronzer with setting powder. The brush that I use to apply the shade in Golden Days is the Morphe M536 brush. To finish my face makeup, I'm going to apply a little bit of cream blush. This is the Putty blush in the shade Bora Bora. This may look a little bit too bright in the pan. I promise you it's not that scary. I'm just going to be taking this E.L.F brush, taking a little bit on my brush, and just apply this to the apples of the cheeks. See, it's so pretty. For mascara, I'm going to apply the Maybelline Sky High. I already applied a little bit of mascara earlier. I'm just going to top it off with a third layer. And then I'll do a little bit on the bottom. I'm going to set everything with the Too Faced Peach Perfect setting powder. I'm going to take some on the cap using my damp beauty sponge. That way my makeup lasts the entire day. I am very oily. Block everything in, I'm going to apply the Milani Make It Last setting spray. I have very little left. I do have a newer bottle, but since I have a little bit, I'll just use this up. For lips, I'm going to apply the E.L.F Hydrating Core Lip Shine in the shade Blissful. Here's what everything looks like. My final thoughts on the E.L.F. Putty bronzers is that I really do like these. They're very easy to work with. They're not super pigmented as I expected it to be. You can build them up, but this was the most that I can build up my bronzers with. The shade in Golden Days is my shade for my skin tone. The other two shades were a little bit too light for me. As I did mention earlier, the shades online, they don't really match the shades in person. I thought these shades would be a little bit deeper as they are pictured here on their website, so I'll pop a picture here so you guys can see. Instead of that pigmentation, I got this pigmentation. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to build it up some more, but I don't want my face to look like a greasy mess. I will leave below in the description box how it does wear throughout my day. Overall, I really do like these cream bronzers, even though these two shades were a little bit too light on me. Perfect shade for my skin tone was the shade in Honey Days, which was really pretty on the skin. It does have a shine to it, so if you don't like that, if you're oily like I am, definitely set it with setting powder. I really do like the formula. It is very nice and creamy. I wouldn't say it's a putty formula. It's more of a cream. The only small thing that I didn't like about this product is that they didn't have the shade name on the back. It's printed very small here on the side. It's definitely no biggie. You can always create a little label on the back and just write whatever shade it is. For $6, I definitely think it's a great deal. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.